So, as one of your last exercises of the workshop, and this is one of my favorite exercises, writing a letter from your present day self to your 5 year younger self, and writing a letter from your future self to your present self. It's a great way to identify with your future self, find a source of inspiration, learn how to trust in the unknown and uncertainty in your day to day life, and can even help with providing you accountability towards your goals, whatever those goals may be. So, there are two letters I'm encouraging you to write. Let's start with writing a letter from your present self to your 5 year younger self. This is a great order to write them in because it's a good source of inspiration and warm up for writing a letter from your future self to your present day self. So, what would your present self tell your 5 year younger self? What advice would she give? Take 10, 15 minutes or so and write it down or type it out. And as part of this, I'll share with you a snippet from my own letter to my 25-year-old self. So I'm 30 years old, so my 5 year younger self. Here we go. I say, know that you can trust. You can trust it's going to work out in ways you didn't even know were possible. You will find a job you feel passion and purpose with. You will design your life in a way that for the first time feels like you're doing everything in your life for you, not because you're really good at it or because that's what you think you should do. You'll even start your own company at the age of 30. What? You will not work out 6 days a week and not feel guilty about it. You will have a less in shape stomach and feel better about it than you did when you had a flat, fatless stomach. You can have a healthy relationship with food. My advice to you is to keep moving forward. Keep leveraging your growth mindset, following your gut or what you think is your gut. Trust that life is not black and white. You can live in the space in between. There isn't one right answer, there are many. And finally, don't take life too seriously. Pretty please. Laugh a little, loosen up on the control reins, have fun. It's good for you. And that was a little snippet from my present day self to my 25-year-old self. Pretty fun, huh? So now, after you've done that, I want you to write a letter from your future self to your present day self. So, what would your future self tell your present day self? Think about all the amazing things that have happened just in the past 5 years and all that you've learned. Pretty mind blowing on what's possible in the next 5 years, right? At least it was for me. So, to get more specific, let's say you want to eventually not care as much about how intensely you exercise, or you want to not care as much about controlling every little piece of food that you eat and going more with the flow. What would your future self tell you about that? About what's possible in the next 5 years? Or let's say you want to be in a career that really serves you, that you feel fulfilled, purposeful, passionate about. What would your future self tell you about what's possible, about where you'll be in 5 years? Think of really being open to possibility, being curious. So if you're 30 years old today, pretend that you are 35 years old writing to your present day self, your 30-year-old self. What would you say? What is possible? What would your future self tell you? When I'm having a really hard time trusting in what's next and trusting in the unknown or uncertainty, I literally pull up this letter that I wrote to myself and I read it. It's pretty cool. And as I mentioned earlier, both of these letters, especially the one from your future self to your present day self, wonderful ways to identify with your future self. It can be a great source of inspiration, how to learn to trust in the unknown and uncertainty, and even help hold you accountable towards your goals. So take a couple minutes. You can download the worksheet and write out what's your letter, both of your letters from your one from your present day self to your 5 year younger self, and then a letter from your future self 5 years older than you are today to your present day self. Have fun.